Hello everyone, I'm Shivam Yadav. I work as a full time software engineer. So, today we would be looking at the ReSharper's problem. For those of you who are not aware what it is, please do check the TechGig challenge. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, this ReSharper coding hackathon is going on, and so I went through this site and checked what's the problem and what they want. So we need a ReSharper problem says we need a single CRUD SPA, which is a single page application with a RESTful backend. So we need some backend which should be written in REST API form, and there should be a front end to call that backend. The only functionality that should be there, which should be creating a list of users, and we should be able to make certain actions on the list, like we should be able to view the users, add, edit, and delete them. So let me show you how I made this, and I will be demonstrating you the functionality that I made. So for front end I have used vanilla JavaScript, and for backend, which is a RESTful, so I used Django's REST framework, which is DRF. Let me show you the project. So this is the project I have made. So in this we have certain components to the project, which is for REST backend I have made a completely separate API or app called API, and the next second app is front end, which is for just calling the backend APIs. So this is the complete project, and let me show you how we can run, and let me start it again. So I'm on my virtual environment. If you can see env, so this has all the dependencies which are required. So basically, since we are working on Django, we require Python and Django, and for the REST framework you have to have Django REST framework installed. So these are all the core dependencies we need to work on. So I am on my project directory. Okay, I have my virtual environment. I'm inside that, so I have all the dependencies there. I just need to start the project. I started my development server on my localhost port 8000. Let me open my localhost port 8000. Yeah, so this is the website which ReSharper wants. So they want a list which should be containing first name, last name, and user's phone number, and we should have certain buttons to add, edit, or delete. So we have the same feel and look. So we have a list of users which are fetched from the APIs. I'll show you later. So we can add a user, we can edit existing user by clicking on the edit button right aside, and we can delete the user. So that's the whole functionality they want. View the users, add a user, edit or delete a user. All this should be from the RESTful backend. So let me show you what are all the APIs that we have. I'll show you through Postman. If I send, so these are all the APIs that I have for my Django REST framework. So I can list users, I can list individual users by their primary key, and create a user, update a user, or delete a user. So these are all the APIs we have. So let me list users in my account, in my backend. So if I make a get request, I can see that I am getting this data, which is in the form of JSON. So basically, we are making a fetch request. We are making a request to our API. So these three users, if you can see, we are seeing on the UI as well. So we are doing the same REST calls from these buttons. So this add user is making a put request. Sorry, this add user is making a post request, this edit user is making a put request, and this, of course, deleting the user makes a delete request, and when we reload the page, it makes a get request to our APIs. Let me add a user here. If I want to add a user, maybe some anonymous user, its phone number, some random phone number, and if I save it, I should be able to add and fetch the user. So we are making a put a post request, and then we are making a get request to fetch the details here. Same way, if I want to add a user from the directly from the API, not from our UI, then we can do that. We can create a user slash the there should be post request. Okay, and you want to create a user, you want to make a post request, you need to provide a body. So in body, let's say I have given first name, last name, and phone number, because we don't need to, these are the details we need to supply since we have a first name, last name, and phone number, and this should be good. Okay, content type should be application JSON. We have the data. We want to make a post request to user create. This should work. Okay, so if I'm making the post request, cool, so it's making a new user and giving us an ID on which this user is created. So we have the new user created. Let me check if this is working. So we can list the number of users by making a get request to user list. So you can see one new user has been added to our backend. So this, if we refresh the page, we should be able to find it. So we are making, we can make use of we can make use of API using our UI. Also, we can do it from the Postman. So let me see if I can update a user. Let's say I want to update this user, or maybe this user. So if I click update and just want to give a random text, so update it. So if I save it, this should update. Cool, that has updated. So we are making put request also we can make through this. So let me do something. Let me make a put request our from the Postman user. So we had update as the endpoint, and we want the ID. So if we see, we had ID created as 43. So we have this user at ID 43, and we want, let's say, Johan underscore 1 as the updated value. So we just need to make a put request to this endpoint, which is the ID to look at, and we want to update the details. If we send the request, it should give us the updated value. So yeah, it's working. If we refresh the page, you should be able to see now. If you can see, we are able to make a get request by reloading the page, post request, and the put request. Let me try to delete also and show you if I can delete. Let me do it from the Postman. So if I want to make a delete request, I have to just delete this user. If I send the delete request, it should be able to delete, and you can see Johan is deleted. If you refresh, voila, so it's working fine. And this is the working functionality that ReSharper wants. Thank you, thank you everyone. I hope this makes clear that we are able to do all the functionalities that they asked for. Bye bye.